This is the Angels Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Los Angeles Angels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls, and welcome back to the latest edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, after every single Angels game right here on the Locked On Angels YouTube channel and after the fact, both on the channel and wherever you get the Locked On Angels audio podcast feed. If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. Spent 4 years covering UCLA sports with the Daily Bruin, and now in year 2 with the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Our team is the Angels, and they are playing some good baseball, at least the last couple of days. Back-to-back wins against the Seattle Mariners here to open up the series, and a very impressive one after falling behind 4-0. Not a good start from Jack Kochanowicz, but the Angels, they put up runs in, 6 consecutive innings? Yeah, 6 consecutive innings with a run for the Angels offense. Eight on the board, and largely thanks to Jo Adell. We'll talk about his huge blowout performance. We will talk about Chris Taylor silencing the haters, including myself once again. And we'll talk about the future of this rotation, both Kochanowicz and a reliever, making it very, very interesting. But before we do all of that, shout out to everybody in here. Big crowd, unsurprisingly, after a big win on this Saturday night. Hope everyone is doing well. Shout out to all the familiar people in the comment section. As always, appreciate you guys so much. Leave a like both right now if you're watching it live or after the fact, and leave your comments as well. Looking forward to those as well. But let's not waste any time talking about the Angels with an 8-6 win. We'll talk about how they fell behind. We'll talk about how they come back. But we're not going to waste any time getting to our player of the game, because really, he made the difference tonight.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And yes, it is Jo Adell. Honorable mention to Chris Taylor, who had his second consecutive stellar performance. But without Jo Adell, the Angels do not win this game. And it's so ironic to say that after what happened with Jo Adell in this ball game. If you were not watching, or if you missed it early in the game, Jo Adell just made another frustrating play in the outfield. Just like last night, where there was a play at the wall where he did not read the wall well and probably should have made the catch 3 times out of 4, or maybe 4 times out of 5, and missed it at the wall. Tonight, a little bit harder. Sure, probably would have been a robbed home run if he made the catch, but it's hard not to say he made a fool of himself, because he did, right? It looks silly out there. He probably still should have made the catch more than half of the time. And so, of course, I'm tweeting when it happens how frustrating it is to watch Jo Adell go from a Gold Glove level player last year to making consecutive, back-to-back games with mistakes. We know he's already got 4 or 5 errors this season as well. And it's very, very frustrating, right, to watch him do that. And like I said, especially frustrating with him not contributing offensively, right? Which is why what he ended up doing offensively is just that much sweeter, right? He responds like the Angels do in this game, and like they've done at times this season. He responds, he shows resilience at the plate with not 1, but 2 home runs. And it's so ironic, right? Everyone's there to criticize him. The Angels fall behind 4-0, but then in the bottom of the second, it's first Chris Taylor, who gets the honorable mention. He leads off the bottom of the second with a solo shot of his own. And then Jo Adell makes it 2 home runs in the inning. And he absolutely crushed this one off Luis Castillo. 431 feet, 110 exit velo on a first pitch sinker right down the middle. Keeping it simple. You're waiting on a pitch. You get it. You crush it. Chris Taylor did the same thing. He got a hanging slider and crushed it. But Jo Adell hits his first of 2 home runs, and it was huge. It turned a 4-0 lead into a 4-2 deficit just like that. The Angels got some luck, some help, fielding error on a shocking drop by Rowdy Tellez helps the Angels make it 4-3. And then Chris Taylor again. Any other night, he's the player of the game. An RBI double to make it 4-4 in the bottom of the third. And then with the game tied at 4, suddenly the Angels have all the momentum, and Joe Adell capitalizes. This time, it's not him waiting for a first pitch sinker and crushing it. This time, it's an 0-2 slider down and in below the zone that he destroys. I mean, destroys 445 feet, 109.1 exit velo. And he reminded everyone, I have all the potential in the world, right? All the potential in the world. And I tweeted it. I was literally like, I'm tired of the what ifs and of the using words like potential. We already do it for Adell as a hitter. Now we have to do it for Adell as a fielder. Well, boy, oh boy, did he respond with 2 mammoth home runs. And that wasn't it as well, right? That made it 5-4, a Joe Adell RBI double after a Nolan Schanuel double in the bottom of the 5th, made it 6-4. And then it was Joe Adell once again who reached base via walk after Luis Rengifo reached via walk, and Zach Neto was able to hit Rengifo in to make it 7-5. And then Joe Adell again caps off a phenomenal performance for him with his 3rd hit and 3rd RBI, an RBI single to score Chris Taylor. That made it 8-5, and that was a big hit, right? That was a big hit and a big run because Kyle Raleigh did hit his 2nd home run of the night himself to make it 8-6 in the 9th inning, and things would have gotten interesting if the Angels only had 6 or 7 runs and not 8. So Joe Adell, he is your player of the game. Again, 3 hits, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, and all of it coming after he made a fool of himself in center field. He did it not only once, but you can make the argument he made another mistake in this one where there was a fly ball right in that, they called it the Bermuda Triangle, right between the left fielder, the shortstop, and the center fielder. And Joe Adell, I don't know if he called it off and Zach Neto didn't hear him while Zach Neto was trying to call it off. But at the end of the day, Joe Adell should be screaming, I am the center fielder, that is my ball, and make the catch. He did not. So not just 1, maybe 2 mistakes in the field, but boy, we don't care. He made up for it with a 3-hit, 3 RBI, 2 home run, and a walk performance to get that average all the way up to 224, the OPS all the way up to 757. And certainly at this point, I know I don't want to be too reactionary, but I mean, when you got guys like Luis Rengifo hitting 209, when you've got Ohapi going 0 for 5 with a strikeout, maybe Joe Adell should not be hitting 8th, right? You certainly can make the argument for that. We talked about Chris Taylor. He's not the player of the game, but he certainly would have been on another night. He finishes, and he actually did not start this game, which was very confusing. The Locked On Angels were tweeting about it. The Super Halo Bros, that is. How in the world is Kevin Newman in the lineup instead of Chris Taylor? And Kevin Newman rewarded that decision with Ron Washington with an 0-for-4 performance, but we won't get into that too much. But Jorge Soler leaves with that groin tightness again. Chris Taylor comes in and, wow, did he make a statement. He goes 2 for 3 once again. We know he had a 2-run shot robbed last night. Well, he made sure to not have it robbed tonight. He hit that leadoff home run in the bottom of the 2nd that got things started, and then he had that RBI double. So 2 extra base hits for him, 2 RBIs for him. Joe Adell with the 2 extra base hits on the 2 home runs. And Chris Taylor obviously had the home run as well. And then Nolan Schanuel with not 1, but 2 doubles as well. Plus Taylor Ward had a double. So if I do that correctly, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 extra base hits tonight, all off of Luis Castillo. I believe they said it was a career high for Luis Castillo in terms of extra base hits given up. So very impressive. Anytime you can put up 11 hits and 8 runs and 7 extra base hits, but especially against a guy like Luis Castillo, who was pitching very well this season and has always pitched really well against the Angels. It feels so good, baby. Yes, it does. We're going to take our break here. When we come back, we will talk about the pitching situation because Jack Kochanowicz was not good in this one, but another guy was. And is it time for that guy to replace Jack Kochanowicz? We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the rest of the lineup as well. And now we'll talk about a sweep opportunity tomorrow. We'll do all that after our break here on another victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. We'll be right back. Now, once again, today's show is brought to you by Trade Coffee. Whether you're gearing up for back-to-back meetings, shuttling kids back and forth to activities, or tackling an endless to-do list, your morning sets the tone for it all. And that's why it should start with a perfect cup of coffee, crafted just for you. So enter Trade Trade is the #1 coffee destination in the U.S., delivering fresh, incredible coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Whether you're a cold brew fan or a pour-over purist, they've got a roast you'll love. I took the trades quiz. It took only a minute, and the first bag they sent me was spot on. I was lucky that the first one was money. The coffee was fresh. It smelled amazing. And honestly, it ruined grocery store coffee for me in the best way. But the good news is, if the first match isn't perfect for you, Trade will replace it for free until they get it just right. And not only that, the prices are comparable to grocery store brands, but the flavor is on a whole different level. And you don't got to go get it. It's shipped right to your door. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our customers 50% off your 1-month trial at drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. That's TRADE.com/lockedonmlb for 50% off your 1-month trial. drinktrade.com/lockedonmlb. And today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. Of course, the NBA playoffs are well underway. They're well in full swing. The finals, game 2, coming up tomorrow. And every night certainly has delivered highlight-worthy performances, major momentum shifts, and can't-miss moments. Whether it's a game-winning shot or a breakout player, there's never been a better time to get in on the action. FanDuel makes it easy to stay in the game before tip-off or live. With player props, performance trends, and same-game parlays, fans have more ways than ever to play smart and win big. If you're new to FanDuel, it's the perfect time to sign up. You can head to FanDuel.com and place your first $5 bet. If it wins, you'll get $20, or not 20. Don't sell you short there. $200. That's right. If your first $5 bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets. So make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Back here live on a victory edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast. Love it, love it, love it. Angels 8, Mariners 6. The Halos take the first 2 in this 3-game set against the Mariners. Not yet time to start talking about the AL West standings, but I'm going to do it a little bit. I am going to say that the Angels are now 2 back of the Mariners. And more importantly, because we don't care about the standings, we just care about our team. More importantly, the Angels 3 games under 500. They're creeping back to that 500 status with 3 games against the A's coming up as well. That's a huge opportunity for another series win. So boy, oh boy, would it be great to, win tomorrow and give yourself an opportunity to start a win streak or keep a win streak going against the A's and get near 500. John Barron in here saying, we got to move Joe Adell up in the lineup. I agree. I talked about it after breaking down his unbelievable performance tonight. 3 hits, 2 home runs. I don't want to be reactionary, but again, when there's so many guys ahead of him that are not doing well, it makes sense to get the hot bats as high up in the lineup as possible. And dare I say it, Chris Taylor is an everyday player for the Los Angeles Angels right now because he has been fantastic the last couple of days. We have to talk about the pitching because you can't have a great comeback without a bad start, and the Angels certainly had a bad start. Jack Kochanowicz gives up 4 runs. That 3-run shot to Kyle Raleigh, his first of 2 for the night. He continues to extend his MLB lead to 26 home runs, but it wasn't just 1 home run, right? Gives up a single to Jorge Polanco. It wasn't ripped or anything, a weak ground ball up the middle. And then Julio Rodriguez, he hits a jam shot to left field. That gets back-to-back hits to then set up the Kyle Raleigh 3-run shot. Another thing that does need to be talked about in this game is that Julio Rodriguez did leave with an injury, not just Jorge Soler for the Angels, but Julio Rodriguez as well. And that was a huge thing, not just offensively for the Mariners, but defensively as well, because his replacement, Leody Taveras, he had an awful night in the field and at the plate, but especially in the field. A couple misplayed balls by him that helped the Angels steal some runs. The Mariners with 2 errors tonight. But yes, Kochanowicz was not great, gives up the 3-run shot to Kyle Raleigh. And the other thing is, it's not just that. Like I always say, guys like Jack Kochanowicz who are not stellar starters, right? They're always going to have a bad inning. The question is, how do you respond? And he did not respond well. Immediately gives up a leadoff double to a guy in Cole Young who came into this ball game, I believe, 1 of 19. But Cole Young rips a ground rule double. And then after a strikeout, J.P. Crawford rips a single to right field to make it 4-0 Mariners. J.P. Crawford, he also hit one deep in the first inning that did not leave. It was like 380 feet, but stayed in the park. But despite the double play to get out of that inning, didn't feel like Jack Kochanowicz ever had his best stuff, was able to survive 2 hits in 2 hits in the 3rd inning without giving up a run. But then in the 4th, that was all she wrote. A walk to Mastrobuoni and then a Ben Williamson single made it 2 on with just 1 out and time for Connor Brogdon to replace Jack Kochanowicz. And yes, the big question is from Ty Barberino here, are we ready to send Jack back down? Well, the argument I've been making in terms of keeping Jack Kochanowicz in the lineup is, or in the rotation is, who do you put there? Who do you put there, right? You can't, send a guy down if you don't have logical replacements, but boy, oh boy, is one Reid Detmers making an argument to finally re-enter the rotation. Reid Detmers came in this ball game and he had a scoreless 7th inning. He did give up a hit, but 2 strikeouts, impressive strikeouts, Vinny in all caps, not Caden Dana. Yeah, Caden Dana not ready, Aldegari not ready, but maybe, just maybe, Reid Detmers is ready. I mean, certainly he has more confidence than Jack Kochanowicz right now. Certainly he's pitching better than Jack Kochanowicz right now. And let's be honest, he has higher higher upside as a starting pitcher than Jack Kochanowicz right now. I have been very critical of Reid Detmers, like many, and I was very critical of the people who, after one good bullpen, outing earlier in the season, were already yelling for Detmers to be a starter. But now is the time, I think. You have proven, Reid Detmers has, that he has not only gained some control on all of his pitches, he's really mixing in that curveball nicely right now. The fastball is lively. It was 96 consistently today, 96 miles an hour. So I'm ready to see Reid Detmers re-enter the rotation because he has arguably been pitching his best or playing his best baseball of his entire career right now. And Jack Kochanowicz is struggling mightily. So I think it makes sense logically to make the switch. The issue, and Vinny makes up a great point here, is it's hard to go from pitching 1 inning or 2 tops to suddenly being a starting pitcher, right? The good news is obviously he came up as a starter, so you don't need to stretch him out or anything. It's just more of a mindset thing and more of a, does he have the stuff to go through a lineup multiple times? That's the question. I think he does, right? He throws a 96 mile an hour fastball right now. He's got that nasty, pitch speed difference going to the mid 70s with that curveball. The slider looks solid. He does have a sinker. So he certainly has the pitch variety, necessary. He has the velocity necessary. It all comes down to the consistency, the control. So we'll see. I mean, we've got people like a current man in here saying, I wouldn't miss with anything because he's winning, or we're winning, that is. But at the end of the day, I don't know how many more Jack Kochanowicz 9-hit, 4 earned run performances you can survive. So we will see. What Ronald Washington decides to do. Let's be honest, he hasn't made the best decisions in terms of the lineup consistently and hitting wise. I mean, starting Kevin Newman over Chris Taylor is the great example. But you got to give him his credit. He did take out Kochanowicz at the right time today. Replacing him with Brock Burke. He did manage the bullpen pretty well. Just 1 run given up by the bullpen by Hector Neris, and even that was pretty fluky because there was a strike 3 call that was called ball 4 instead. But yeah, you got to give Ron Washington credit for managing the bullpen well. Look at all the relievers we saw tonight. Six relievers, because Kochanowicz only goes 3 1/3, right? Brogdon with an impressive inning and 2/3. Neris wasn't great. Burke, Detmers, Zephyr John, and Jansen, they all got it done, though. So shout out to the bullpen for handling it. The big question becomes, should Reid Detmers be the starter? But the most important thing, the Angels' offense is showing some life, right? We needed Fenway Park. We needed the craziness of Fenway Park, and that's true. Yes, Kenley Jansen did give up that home run to Kyle Raleigh. My apologies there. But the moral of the story is that trip to Fenway Park, all the craziness of Fenway Park, it started our offense. It really got our lineup hot, right? That 6-run first inning in the first game of that series and a very solid series in Boston for the lineup as a whole. Well, it transferred over to the home field advantage that we haven't been showing much this season, but we're getting closer to it, right? I think we're exactly 500 on the road. So now I believe 3 games under 500 at home. We will take it. We're getting closer and closer to that 500 mark that we had after the big winning streak. But we're going to wrap this one up. Angels 8, Mariners 6, and a sweep opportunity tomorrow. Before we wrap it up, of course, have to quickly preview tomorrow's game. An opportunity for the Angels to get the sweep because we do have Tyler Anderson on the mound. been arguably our most consistent starter in 2025. So we get Tyler Anderson against Kirby, who's 0 for 3 with an 8.56 ERA for the Mariners. So we certainly have the pitching advantage. We'll see. Julio Rodriguez might be out tomorrow as well, which would be a huge hole in the Mariners lineup that's been struggling a little bit. And so we'll see. As long as Tyler Anderson can handle Cal Raleigh and JP Crawford, which that lefty advantage should help, I think the Angels are now the favorites to win tomorrow. I picked them to lose today and win tomorrow. They won today. I am going to pick them tomorrow. Unfortunately, I love it. Hilarious. No Red Sox first base coach to steal Anderson signs this time. Hilarious. But, it seems like, I think Vinny said it, whatever Gavin picks the opposite seems to happen. I was ripping on Chris Taylor. Now he's hot. I was ripping on Joe Adell. Now he's hot. I said we were going to lose today. We won. I'm saying we're going to win tomorrow. So hopefully I can break my skid and correctly predict a result. I'm going to predict an Angels win tomorrow, 1 p.m. first pitch at the Big A. The crowd's going to be nice on a Sunday matinee game. That, the energy is going to be there. It's a sweep opportunity. I got my broom sitting in the closet. I'm hoping I can bring it out tomorrow after the game. So thanks so much to everybody for watching this one. We're going to wrap it up. Angels 8, Mariners 6, 2 wins in a row to start the series. We already got the series win, but a sweep opportunity tomorrow. Hopefully that broom will be out tomorrow, and hopefully I'll catch you guys there as well. Have a great rest of your Saturday night. Celebrate the win, and don't forget 1 p.m. first pitch tomorrow. I'll see you guys after the game. Take care, everybody. Halos win. Have a good one.